Today's video is sponsored by Dossier. Stay tuned to learn more. So hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is yet again another Chioma Chats video podcast edition. So by the title, we're going to be talking about the recent Ice Spice versus Cleotrapa beef. This has literally been the most trending topic in like the last 48 hours. And of course, I'm going to cover it. But I think it just goes to show that a lot of the things that I've said about Ice Spice over the years have been true. I've talked about her privilege due to her looks and her skin tone. I've talked about how she doesn't seem like the nicest or friendliest person when it comes to friendships. And I've talked about how she definitely does certain things to get ahead in the industry, hence her explosive and exponential growth into superstardom. So Cleotrapa is the one calling out Ice Spice, and she is a 26-year-old New York native. She's also an artist, and apparently she was popping in New York prior to Ice Spice's fame. Now, I'll be real, I've never heard of her up until she went viral for doing those funny vocabulary lessons. And then when I saw that she was Nigerian, it all just makes sense, because if you're Nigerian, you know your parents are so hard on you for speaking perfect English. It's obsessive. But I've always thought that she was funny. Then I realized that she was an artist, and I tend to support other Black women, especially Nigerian women, so I'm here for her. But she has been popular long before Ice Spice rose to fame, but we saw that Ice Spice fast-tracked her way into being this viral rapper over the last few years, and people called out how she did it. Now, Ice Spice is 24 years old. She's also from New York, and her hit single Munch literally ate its way up the charts to solidify her as a top female rapper, no pun intended. And let's not forget, one of Ice Spice's former friends, who is also an artist named Baby Storm, called out Ice Spice for being fake, talking about other rappers such as Nicki Minaj, and just how she is behind the scenes. And because to me, Baby Storm isn't as palatable as an Ice Spice or a Cleo, I don't think her claims were taken as serious. But somebody has to be the bad guy. Always. Somebody has to ruffle feathers. Somebody has to basically put themselves into the fire and catch heat for speaking their truth. And that's exactly what Baby Storm did. Now, I've covered that story before, but to summarize it, she shared messages between her and Ice Spice, where Ice Spice said that Nicki Minaj was being unfair with the type of deals and percentages that she wanted in order for Ice Spice to not only sign to her label, but also collaborate with her on music. She also talked about how she brought Nicki Minaj an opportunity when it came to the whole Barbie song and the Barbie movie, and then that was debunked that no, Nicki Minaj brought you that, and Ice Spice utilized Nicki to get ahead. Ice Spice also talked about her mom in the messages, saying that she's a hater and a user, and she also talked about Cleotrapa. People were saying that when you fall out with your friends, you shouldn't air them out, and questioning if Baby Storm's text messages were valid, and really not believing what it was. And that was for many reasons. One, because let's be real, Baby Storm is dark-skinned, she's not as palatable, she's not as popular or famous, she has a more alternative personality, and she did come off like a bitter ex-friend. And then the second reason is because people have already made Ice Spice a platform figure, where some people will say they can never make me hate you. However, with Cleo, she's already known. People already like her. And with her dropping this very long TikTok series explaining her situation with Ice Spice and them falling out, I think Baby Storm's insight to Ice Spice probably was true. I just really want to talk versus you guys just listening to what you said, because I can provide context and recite it in shorter ways, and most of you have probably already seen it. But if you haven't, this all stemmed from Ice Spice inviting Cleo to do her most recent tour. And Ice Spice did not provide suitable accommodations. Ice Spice was being shady. Ice Spice was treating her like the dirt on the bottom of my Crocs, and showing that she is not a girl's girl, nor is she a friend. Ice Spice has responded to all of this, and I will give my opinions and feedback on that as well. So I've broken this video down into 3 main talking points. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So my first point is explaining this beef. Again, this is coming from Cleo airing out Ice Spice and exposing her for how she was treated on Ice Spice's tour.
So the ending of July, I get a call from Ice very early in the morning. Cleo, come on tour with me. I miss you. Come. And I'm just like, girl, I'm not about to come on tour with you and watch you perform all month. Like, I got stuff that I could be doing. I could be getting money. I have opportunities in New York. I have brand deals. I have things that I need to focus on. So for me to travel all over the United States with you to watch you perform, kind of crazy. She's like, no, I want you to perform. And I gagged. You want me to perform? She ain't never, ever brought me out on stage. I'm like, I guess she's really trying to make up for that fake that got exposed like a month ago. Like, she's really trying to, like, you know, be a actual friend, because that was weird as. And I checked her about that. And even for her to apologize was like pulling teeth. Like, girl, you got caught calling your friend jealous for no reason. And her excuse was that I didn't speak up when I was asked if she was Nigerian. Like, girl, I met you a month before that video. I didn't even know you was Nigerian. So that was kind of weird to me too, that she was upset at me for not knowing if she was Nigerian. And she said that you could have at least said I was black. Like, girl, I didn't even know you. Am I your PR? Am I supposed to be clearing up every time somebody's asking about you being black or Nigerian? Like, that's not my role. And I don't even know you. So I was so confused. And she never said that she felt the way. And it was just like, I didn't even know that she was mad at me. She's just in messages talking about me. So she tells me, like, I think everybody's jealous of me. Don't take offense to it. I say that about everybody. I say that everybody's jealous of me. I even say that about my mom. Like, that's kind of sick. But okay, it's like every time she's like inviting me out, because we never chilled on some like chill, bro. Like, it was never like just some chill. It was always like in the blogs the next day and the song is dropping too. So it was like, wait, this girl kind of uses me for her rollouts. She's trying to make it up. She's trying to be an actual good friend. I made a flyer announcing that I was going to be coming on tour with her. It did not even get reposted. Like, just about nobody knew I was coming on tour. It was like a special guest. She didn't even like shine any sort of like her own light on me. It was like kind of like all me. Like, I want my fans to come out. Like, she didn't really try to like mesh me in with her actual fan base or try to like put her fan base onto me. Very calculated, you know? Online says the show starts at 8. It would even say 9 sometimes. And guess what time I was going on? At 7:30, 7:45. I was going on before the show starts. So that was kind of weird in itself. I had no idea what to expect going on tour until I got on tour and started seeing certain things. And I'm just like, wait, why don't I have that? I didn't have a room. I was told I was going to be with her, but I didn't have a room. No room for me backstage at all. I was in her dressing room. I didn't have no writer. I was with her. And before I came on tour, I asked her what were the things that I was going to have to pay for, because this is so last minute. Like, you're only giving me one day to prepare. Like, it's July 30 something and we going on tour August 1st. Like, girl, like literally one day. So I'm just like, what do I have to pay for? Nothing. You're going to be with me. You're good. You're going to be with me. So I was like, okay, everything is handled. I'm going to make the absolute best out of it. I don't have no dances or nothing. I'm just gonna go out there and do what I can do.
Now, we know that Ice Spice recently dropped her album called Y2K, and this came out towards the end of July. So it's been about 5 to 7 weeks since the album came out, and she immediately started touring. And I'm not gonna lie, her shows seemed to be sold out. People showed up and supported, and she did seem to have a bit more improvement on her performance from some of the clips that I saw. But Cleo was invited last minute, really like a day or two before, and that was the first error. Preparation definitely dissolves a lot of issues when you're doing something serious, especially something like business. All of these individuals have brands, they have names, they have platforms. And when you rush something, it is extremely hard to execute it the way you want to, because time is working against you. And in this case, Cleo risked her brand by accepting this invitation that led to a lot of issues for her.
First couple of days was cute. We went to Philly, and this is when things go left now. Yeah, we're in a hotel room. We're not sure if we're gonna like bring our bags to the venue, but she told me, don't leave your bags at the hotel. You might need something in it. Her security, who brings all her bags, she has like 10 bags, he brought my bag. And now we're at the venue, and I do need something in the suitcase. Like, I had a wardrobe malfunction, like she said I probably would have. So I'm like, oh, how can I get the bag? She's like, tell the security to get it for you. I go to the security. I'm like, can you get my bag out the trunk? He goes, he gets the bag, brings it upstairs. I change, da-da-da-da. End of the show, I put my bag next to her 10 bags. I turned around, my bag was still there. I asked the security, I'm like, can you take my bag? He said no. I'm asking around, nobody's word. So I'm like, all right, let me bring the bags. I'm tight though. Need I remind you, I'm not even allowed to bring somebody on tour with me. But I feel like she could have simply said to the security, like, take Cleo's bag. I got a sense that she just wanted me to struggle. And that's kind of as like a friend. I had to make a second trip for the suitcase. I made the second trip for the suitcase. Do it again. Raining outside, dragging the suitcase, fans in my face. It was so humiliating. I was like, what the I get in the car, I'm tight, and the car ride is silence, and I know she peeped why I was mad. It's like she just doesn't give a So we went to the hotel now. When we pull up to the hotel, she's like, oh, like, telling the security guy what bag she wants taking out the car. So we're in the hotel room and I have this feeling in my chest. I have to say something because if I don't say something, I'm gonna start moving like I don't like her. So she's in the shower. I'm like, yo, you know you told me to take my bags with me to the venue. So why would it be a problem for him to bring the bags back to the car? And she goes, that's my security. He works for me. If he feels like he's doing more work, he's gonna want to get paid more. He's like, he gets paid a flat rate. I'm like, is this girl serious? She said it like she had no idea what flat rate meant. If he gets paid a flat rate, that means that he'll move a house for you. And she's just like, he can't leave my side. Like, he can't leave me. That's why. She's like, oh, why would I wait for him to bring your bags to the car? I'm like, the conversation was done after that. This is supposed to be my friend, but gradually I start seeing that she wasn't really my friend. And that was like the beginning of it. This situation where I said something about my bags was the reason why I got mistreated the entire tour after that. She feels too big. She feels too highly. She's on her high horse. Nobody can say nothing to her. It doesn't matter how famous you are. We're still all human beings at the end of the day, and you still could get checked and you still could get told about yourself.
So pretty much she details a lot of the issues that happened on the tour. First, there was an issue at the Philly show. Shout out to Philly, by the way. I will be there soon for a meet and greet. Make sure you guys stay tuned to the end. But there was an issue where Cleo's bag was not handled by Ice Spice's team and security. The security guard refused, and Ice Spice essentially was behind that because she wanted to preserve the security just for herself. But the thing is, if you invite your friends, your so-called friends, to do something that you're doing, I would think that as a friend, you have accommodation for your friend. So Cleo had to carry her bags in the rain by herself, and that is where things started to shake up. Throughout the tour, Cleo oftentimes was not privy or not alerted about what she needed to be doing or where she needed to sleep or when she was going to perform, and it caused a lot of confusion and a lot of last-minute changes that came out of her pocket. There was an incident that she described where she was supposed to perform at a certain time, but on the flyer or what she was being told by Ice Spice's team, it seemed like people weren't even going to be there while she was performing, and that defeats the purpose of her being given an opportunity to put herself on or promote herself if that's what Ice Spice said that she was trying to do. She wasn't. So if Ice Spice is truly her friend, wouldn't you want your friend to perform where there's a little bit more of a crowd? That way you're also promoting her. But it goes to show that Ice Spice really isn't a girl's girl. She's not a true friend. And the whole purpose of her inviting Cleo on tour was to boost her image as a good person. Ice Spice clearly has calculated motives and a very stinky attitude. And because she has a stinky, smelly attitude, I have just the product for her. Introducing tonight's sponsor, Dossier. Hey ladies, it's date night and I was going out for dinner with my man. So as I got ready, I definitely had to include my new Dossier perfume, Ambre Saffron. It's inspired by the MFK Baccarat Rouge 540. It's unisex and described as warm with a whiff of wealth. That's definitely the vibe I wanted to give off so that he would notice that I am smelling good. So when he came to pick me up to take me out, he was like, what's that? And I had to tell him it's Dossier.
What is it you got on? You smell good.
You like it?
Yeah, what is it?
It's Dossier.
Okay.
So Dossier also sent me 4 other scents, the first being Ambre Jasmine, which is inspired by Valentino Donna's Born in Roma. It's feminine, sensual, and vibrant. Next up is Woody Coriander. This is masculine with a subtle twist of seduction. It's giving, I'm outside, but I smell good too. Next, we have Fruity Almond. It's inspired by Carolina Herrera's Good Girl. This is feminine and playfully seductive. This one is very fresh and wearable for day to day. And lastly, Aromatic Bergamot. This is inspired by YSL's Myself. It's definitely a masculine scent. It smells powerful, a little minty, and has a balance of sweetness and other woody scents. The Dossier impressions are inspired by some of the most popular luxury fragrances. I believe that they are the fragrance destination with affordable options that are also high quality. So whether you're looking for something to wear daily or for special events like going out on a date with your lover, Dossier has something for you. You can check the link down below in the description box and the pinned comment to learn more and shop their collection. Thank you to Dossier for sponsoring today's video. Now getting back into things, let's flash back to when Baby Storm aired her out. That did turn about 25% of the general public who even cared against Ice Spice. They believed the messages and started to question her integrity and how she moves behind the scenes. But the thing is, we've always given Ice Spice credit for being low-key, mysterious, quiet, and not in drama. She plays her chess pieces behind closed doors. But a lot of people are inevitably getting fed up with her behavior or how she really is, and that's why we have 2 major examples calling her out on her character. Moving on, Cleo describes an incident where her bag bag was in a room, and her bag was removed from a room, and it was just a small bag, not multiple suitcases, just a tell-for bag. And this is when Ice Spice's mother and her sister showed up, and when she came back to the room, she realized her bag was just sitting outside on the floor. And then she also realized that her card was charged for $700. And she doesn't accuse anybody in particular of doing that, but I think whoever moved that bag, you left her personal belongings and her property out to be vulnerable, which is why she ended up having her card compromised. There was another incident where they were in Texas, they were in the middle of nowhere, and they're hungry. And the only thing that was nearby was a McDonald's within 8 minutes walking distance. And the makeup artist, who is now kind of friends with Cleo because the makeup artist was nice enough to extend courtesy, and Cleo and the makeup artist were trying to go, so they're telling other people who are part of the tour that they're hungry. Mind you, they're in this random hotel, and come to find out, everybody else but those two went to a steakhouse while they were out here eating McDonald's in the middle of Texas. That is so shady. Now, the makeup artist and Cleo again are now cordial when Cleo didn't have a room or a place to stay because she was under the impression that she was going to be staying with Ice Spice, and Ice Spice told her that everything was going to be covered. Cleo even asked, what accommodations do I need to budget for prior to going on the tour? And Ice Spice assured her that she'll be taken care of and that she'll be staying with Ice Spice. So on the days where she couldn't stay in the same room or the same bed, the makeup artist stepped up and said, hey, you can just stay with me. Subsequently, they ended up getting pretty cool. They were doing TikToks, and now they're all buddy-buddy. But Ice Spice is now not happy that Cleo is befriending her makeup artist or hairstylist, y'all. It was one or the other. And that also sours her mood with a lot of things, causing Ice Spice to not invite her to the steakhouse, not giving her accommodations, and basically treating her like a secondhand citizen. Cleo claims the straw that broke the camel's back was pretty much the whole luggage situation because Cleo went and checked Ice Spice about that. Because if my friend invited me somewhere and they told me everything is taken care of, what is so hard for the security to help me with my bags? And why would Ice Spice counter the argument to say that, oh, my security would want to be paid more and he only works for me and things of that nature? I mean, he's working for you, yes, but your friend is a part of your entourage for the tour. So what is it to just carry a suitcase? Now, I've watched about 3 videos on this. I watched her full TikTok series, and that to me sums up what most of the issues are. I may be missing some stuff, but I just want to get to my commentary. The beef is Ice Spice doesn't see Cleo as a friend, as an equal, or simply as a person. The beef is Ice Spice has an inflated ego, and that was evident when Cleo was around for this entire tour. Cleo states that she's never been around Ice Spice for more than 10 hours. She met Ice Spice right before she blew up and became this big deal, and she's kind of been utilized to promote the image of the desirable, pretty light-skinned girl with the dark-skinned, lesser-known side chick friends. When you really think about it, it's giving Penny Proud and Dejanay Jones. Some people feel that Cleo should not have exposed information because they were once friends, and I've been seeing and hearing this on a lot of platforms and videos. I'm here to say, I strongly disagree. Why would people encourage that just because you were friends with someone doesn't mean that you can't speak up for yourself? I know this is an extreme example, but even with the Diddy situation, are the victims or former lovers or former friends of him supposed to remain quiet just because they once had an amicable relationship with him? Absolutely not. We are no longer friends. We're no longer acquaintances. We're no longer cool. Nothing. I don't owe you anything anymore. So to critique Cleo or Baby Storm on sharing information to the public about Ice Spice's wrongdoings makes no sense to me. Because if these women were either used, abused, mistreated, or anything, why would we encourage victims or people who have just been done bad to keep their mouths closed just because they once had a friendship? I would never. I don't like that critique, and I've been seeing it time and time again. Everybody has the right to tell their story, their truth, tell what really happened, and warn or caution other people that may be evil, vindictive, or very much a narcissist. Being quiet doesn't expose the honest and factual nature of certain people, and I'm actually happy and proud that Cleo spoke up about this. Because when you're being done wrong, why continue to sit in silence and suffer, not have support, not have an outlet, especially when you're emotional and you're hurt just because you used to be friends with someone? Maybe certain information should be kept quiet, but the reality is the entirety of this tour, Cleo was mistreated and she has the right to share her story. Now, my second point is getting into some of the nitty-gritty details that actually stood out to me. There were a few things that stuck out to me about everything that Cleo said. Number one, she speaks about how Ice Spice's whole entire energy is very dark. And I know we have conspiracy theories all over the internet these days, especially these days that we have a lot more information and we see a lot more demonic things or things that just don't sit right with people's spirit. I remember at the Super Bowl, Ice Spice Spice was called out for throwing up a demonic sign, and people were very disturbed by that. But for Cleo to insist that Ice Spice is dark, soulless, and needs to be saved, I think that she's already reached the pinnacle of success in her career where there's no coming back. She's making a crazy amount of money. She has so many monthly listeners. She's everywhere. They literally marketed her in our faces ever since the day her song went viral. And I think you have to give something to take something to reach that level that fast. Cleo talks about how Ice Spice truly failed to do an integral part of her career, which was go through the grind. And I've talked about this. She got it kind of easy. And when I say she got it lucky, and when I heard Cleo say it, I'm like, yeah, she did. I'm all for people taking advantage of an opportunity. If it was me, I may have done something similar. But if your morals and your personality and how you treat people is compromised because of your success, there may be something else deeper and darker that has made you this way. Unfortunately for Cleo, she didn't really know Ice Spice prior to fame. They met shortly before she went viral, so it's not like she's a childhood friend that could speak on how she was before all of this to contrast how she is now. The second nitty-gritty detail that stuck out to me was Cleo exposing that Ice Spice is not Nigerian.
I didn't know. I seen her tweet though, but I didn't know.
Really? So y'all.
She never told me that though.
Really?
I was kind of confused too when she tweeted that. I'm like, did she tell me?
She's half.
She told me her best friend was. I remember when I was talking about me being Nigerian. She was like, yeah, my best friend's Nigerian. But I mean, if she's Nigerian, then period.
She's probably trolling the God, man, right? Like
maybe she did. Maybe she did she don't gotta be trolling. Maybe she did an ancestry thing or something.
Nah. Like half. Listen, she said she's half Nigerian. Which, I'll be real, do I see half Nigerian? Maybe if she's Igbo, right? Because they're like mad light skinned, right?
I don't know.
Y'all, I had my doubts. I truly did. Because I feel like a lot of people take ancestry tests. They take 23andMe. They see that their ancestry and their lineage derives from West Africa and in particular Nigeria. And for Cleo to say that she never knew that Ice Spice was Nigerian and that Ice Spice never told her, sweetie, you know they Niger. Because I'm Nigerian. And you don't even have to be Nigerian to know that Nigerians are very boastful, very loud about their culture, and very over the top when it comes to announcing that they are Nigerian. When you meet another Nigerian, it's almost like this person is automatically family because that's just how the culture is set up. So just because you took a swab test and it came back that you're from a certain place in Africa, I can respect the lineage, but you've never been immersed into the culture to claim it. And I hate how a lot of times, I'll just say it, Black Americans will call out people like Tyler for using Black American culture to get ahead or just using Black American support to boost their fandom, and I think that argument is valid. I stand with that. But when Ice Spice announced that she was Nigerian, you would not believe how many people just liked her just because of that. Her dad is not Nigerian like my dad is. He didn't immigrate from Nigeria to the United States. He did a swab test and that's what came back. And I just have to advocate for the fact that I'm sorry, but that just doesn't count in the way how she tried to make it seem. I found that to be hilarious though. Now the third nitty-gritty detail that stuck out to me was Cleo revealing that Ice Spice was on Ozempic. And I tried to give Ice Spice the benefit of the doubt and say that I don't think she is, but she did lose weight very fast and in a rapid way. Ice Spice tried to throw shade by saying when they went to some Italian restaurant, Cleo ate a lot of the food very fast, probably because she was hungry. I mean, it's not like y'all were feeding her. You guys denied her a chicken salad and said that she wasn't a part of the budget, which is crazy. And then Cleo turns around and says, it's crazy that you would even make a statement referring to my eating habits, let alone my size, when you were just on Ozempic. So I guess cat's out the bag. She was on Ozempic according to Cleo, and I think Cleo's 40-minute series had a lot of truth in it, so I don't think that she's lying about that. Now, my third and final point is the real issue and the real optics. Now, to me, the real issue is a lot of things. Number one being that Ice Spice is just not a girl's girl. Ice Spice reminds me of the stereotypical light-skinned or multiracial, pretty popular girl who uses her associations to boost her ego and make people know that they're disposable, or pretends and fakes her bonds for her own self-gain. Sometimes you really do have to be very wary and very careful with the quiet people, because to the public spectrum, they'll do anything to be perceived a certain way to maintain their status and to maintain their riches. But behind closed doors, they've created an environment where they want people to believe they're untouchable and they can do as they please because people are either scared of them or don't want to lose the benefits that being associated with them brings them. And that's the critique I have of Cleo, because although Cleo may have started off as more popular or more known than Ice Spice, eventually Ice Spice surpassed her. And Cleo recognizes that going on tour at the very last minute it was a way to promote herself to a larger audience. And because of that benefit, she remained in a situation that was mistreating her until inevitably the curtains fell and she saw Ice Spice for who she truly is and Cleo's purpose of actually being associated with her. The second reason is blatant colorism. And I saw some people giving this point pushback, but we have to be honest. How many times have we seen the character of the pretty popular light-skinned girl with the darker, lesser-known sidekick that's dared to make her look like she's for women, or she isn't shallow, or she's an ally with a certain group of people, when in reality, that isn't the case. And Cleo got played like a fiddle, and now the music is off key. No pun intended again. There's a reason why Cleo said she's never been around Ice Spice for more than 10 hours. And I think she misinterpreted and misconstrued the friendship, let alone the idea of being friends with Ice Spice. Her placement to Ice Spice was to make Ice Spice have this well-known girl who together they look good and their friendship goals for thousands if not millions of women. But in reality, it was more transactional with Cleo taking scraps. She wasn't paid for the tour, she wasn't paid for her performances, she at the very least wasn't even accommodated with basic housing and food. And that's something that every person needs. And from day one, I said that Ice Spice's career is based a lot on her looks, her skin tone, and how people put up these sunglasses to shade out her lack of talent and her lack of care for being an artist. And the only thing they see is her shade. All shade. To wrap things up, I feel like Ice Spice's response to all of this is literally showing that her privilege due to her looks and her popularity is directly equated to why she responded how she did. She got on Twitter Talks, whatever that thing is called, and this is what she had to say back to all of this.
Or like, they're not getting exactly what they want out of a situation the way that they want it. You know what I mean? It's like, that's when they decide to crash out every single time. Like, I'm noticing a pattern, bro. And the shit is sad because I genuinely was trying to help her. Like, I'm like, yo, do you want to just come on this tour? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could just like join. Like, mad last minute type. What had actually happened is that we added another tour bus. So I'm like, now we have extra room. We have extra bunks. So I'm like, oh, let me see if Cleo wants to come. Feel me? So she could do like her songs and stuff like that. But that's what the fuck I get for trying to be a good person. It's whatever, bro. Honestly, like, you know, that's not gonna stop me from still trying to be a good person. Like, I'm gonna always help the next person out. Like, and that's really my fault for real, because whatever though. But to say, like, just to leave out so many details is crazy. Like, how you not gonna tell the people, bitch, we was on them rides at the theme park screaming our vocal cords out to the point where the next day it was hard to perform. Like, bitch, we was having fun. So for you to try to sit here and complain about a chicken salad, it's like, you never came to me talking about a chicken salad. What are you really talking about right now? You gonna send me a whole essay after tour? Like, you just gonna get off the bus? I don't even know you got off the bus. And you gonna send me an essay with an intro, bodies, and a conclusion? Like, and you want me to try to like analyze this and figure out how I'm wrong when all I did was share my stage with you, when I ain't even have to do that? You got less than 10,000 listeners and I'm sharing my stage with you and you feeling so entitled. Like, you thinking that my peoples that work for me is supposed to work for you too? Like, that's so crazy to me. Like, how I'm in the shower, you gon' barge in while I'm butt ass naked trying to press me about some bags that you gotta carry some bags. What? Like, nah, that's that bro. But that's all I could do, y'all. All I could do is sigh about it, because it's just like, what can you do, bro? It's like, damn, crash outs and they going on rants, bro. Crash outs and they going on rants. But fuck it though, at the end of the day, it's whatever, bro. Like, this comes with it, you know. Like, y'all see clearly this will come with it, bro, right? So yeah. But the whole thing that's blowing me right now is like talking about some dark energy, trying to compare a tour bus to a slave ship. Like, what are you talking about right now? What? That is crazy to me, bro. That's so crazy to me. Like, you really gonna be friends with somebody for 2 years, but the whole time you feel like they soulless and dark? Like, you sound dumb as hell. If anything, we both need saving. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like, we was at the movie theaters. We was siphon. You not gonna tell the people how we was at an Italian restaurant and you ate so much food, you vacuum, that the server was like, where did the food go? Like, stop it right now. You talking about some, she ain't let me to the back of her room on her tour bus. She had this big ass room. Can I play with my one time in my bed one time? Like, damn, you want to sleep in my bed every day? That's crazy to me. Anyways, yeah, I'm about to actually go to sleep for real this time, but I'm about to announce the Europe tour dates, because for me, the Go on.
Now, this girl is so wrong. Let's start with that. But just that arrogance and the dismissiveness and how she was so quick to just say that it doesn't matter, that you exposed me, and that people are still gonna buy and stream and show it to my shows, just shows that she never cared and wasn't Cleo's friend. Cleo had exposed a lot of text messages, and it's not like Cleo didn't come to Ice Spice with this before she went public. She expressed her dislike. She told her how she felt, and she was emotional about it, just for Ice Spice to respond back and say that she was ungrateful. And I don't get ingrate from Cleo. I get someone who was told that certain things were going to happen, and yeah, it didn't go as planned, but she also didn't expect to be treated like trash. And Ice Spice's response shows me that everything that came out was either true, or she's really so deep into a sunken place that she can't even see the error of her ways and at least be apologetic for how her friend feels. If Ice Spice saw Cleo as a friend, there would be no reason for her to jump to deflection and insults before she tried to rectify the situation. And Ice Spice had ample amount of opportunities throughout the length of her tour to show that she cared, to advocate for Cleo, to stand up for her, to offer her the same services and treatment that she was getting, and she did not do that. Overall, Ice Spice to me is on the outs. Like, she's melting. The album wasn't it. I know you guys are still waiting for that review. It's just gotten away from me, but I already planned to do it this week. But she's on the outs because nobody likes a nasty girl. Nobody likes someone who is unlikable. And to make it in this industry, the one thing that you have to have more than a lot of things is that you have to be likable. I've said this time and time again. People actually have to like you so that they become more invested in you. And the way how people have gone so hard on so many other talented entertainers for not trying hard enough, for not putting out albums fast enough, for being ghetto, for being easily offended, for not improving, for being everything but a child of God. But meanwhile, Ice Spice has shown and is showing that she is exactly what other artists get critiqued for, but somehow she still prevails. That is an example of colorism. That is an example of privilege. That is an example of someone not caring what people say and who she has to step over and hurt to remain at the top. I want to thank Cleo for being strong enough and brave enough for sharing her story. She went against a huge giant, but it's commendable that she could execute this attack on Titan. Hopefully she can rebirth as Eren Yeager and is able to heal, cope, and learn a valuable lesson that in this industry, it's very tough to find real friends. And Ice Spice was definitely never her friend. So that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please let me know your commentary on my commentary down below. What do you think? What do you know? Let me know. Y'all, it's finally here. I'm having my first ever solo meet and greet in my hometown, Philly. You guys can check out the link to buy tickets down below in the description box. Please come out and support me. We're just gonna have a good time, do a Q&A, and we also will have an after party at the same location. Also, don't forget to check out our sponsor Dossier. Everything about Dossier is pinned down below and also in the description box. If you guys don't want to be a stanky, smelly person like Ice Spice, check out Dossier. They have a lot of affordable fragrances for men, women, and everything that you need. And lastly, as always, don't forget to follow me on all of my social media networks, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all.
No other man. Number one, Papa, you know you my only one. 2 times 2, buy me everything under the sun. Twice, say moi, bisous on my body, love that. Yeah, we had tough times, can we rise above that? Your smile's my weakness, your body give me releases. With you, my day be increasing. It does. You bless me like sneezes. I could write a whole thesis when I give you these reasons. Count on, 2, 3, come on, baby, come on.